Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel and welcome to Wednesday's edition of Celtic Transfer Talk. We have a few things to catch you up on, including that rejected bid for yet another winger target this summer. We know we're light in that department and we need to bring in players before the start of the new season, which is only a weekend away. So Celtic need to get a move on. But as usual, we're being stingy. Surprise, surprise. If you haven't already, please make sure to hit like and subscribe. It would be much appreciated. Thank you all for the support through this summer as we get closer to the beginning of the new Premiership season. Once again, we will be live tomorrow night for the pre-season friendly against Ajax as we kick off the Como Cup. Celtic are looking to make it a pre-season treble. The Adidas Cup, the Cork Super Cup, we're one trophy away from completing the tea set. Can we do it tomorrow night? Join me just before kick-off and we'll be watching the whole game. But we have some transfer news to tide you by till then. So Celtic have identified their next winger target, and that comes in the form of Danish right winger Jakob Breum, who has been linked with the club, and even more so, apparently we've had our first bid rejected. Here was the headlines last night. This story came from Stephen McGowan. I'm sure you're all aware by now. Celtic have saw a £1.5 million transfer offer for the Danish winger rejected. Stephen McGowan went on to say that Go Ahead Eagles in Holland have rejected a £1.5 million offer from Celtic for Danish winger Jakob Breum. An offer for the 21-year-old right-sided attacker fell well below the Dutch club's valuation of £5 million. Now, he went on to say that there was a club director at Go Ahead Eagles, Jan Willem van Dop, who spoke of an offer from a quote-unquote foreign club for Breum earlier this month, and it's understood the club in question was Celtic. So there you go. Story of this transfer window. Player worth £5 million? Nah, it's alright. Celtic will bid £1.5 million. Close enough, isn't it? This is what that club director at Go Ahead Eagles said. He said there was a bid for Jakob Breum from a foreign club, but we are so far apart there. You have to stand your ground. He may have to realise that it could be very good to stay with us for at least till the winter window, just like Oliver Edvardsson, who was another player at the club he used as an example. So yeah, this is the situation we find ourselves in. Celtic lowballing, and not only lowballing, but lowballing to a dramatic extent, to the point where club directors are going to be able to persuade their own to stay rather than join Celtic. Because if we're trying to shortchange them at that stage of the negotiations, you know, they may as well stay and play another year there, get more interest from other sides, perhaps bigger sides where they could make more money. And this is what situation Celtic get themselves into. We're playing with fire. When you play with fire, you miss out on big targets. And you think of the amount of big targets we've missed out on in recent years. As recent as this window with the likes of, say, Matthias Wiesgaarden. If he was a legitimate Celtic target like the others over the years, Celtic's low-balling efforts have cost them to miss out, and sometimes miss out on potential superstars. And right now, Celtic are doing it again. Even though we are potentially heading into a league season that starts a week from Sunday with James Forrest as the only right-wing option. Should Yang leave the club, James Forrest might be the only right-wing option in the year 2025. Here is Jakob Breum's stats from last season. 26 games in the Eredivisie with 10 goals and 5 assists. He enjoyed a very good campaign, which included qualifiers for the Europa Conference League. But the big thing for Go Ahead Eagles last year, and what really topped off the season for Jakob Breum and the rest of his teammates, was the Dutch Cup, because in dramatic fashion, Jakob Breum and his teammates won that Dutch Cup. They scored a 99th minute penalty to force the game to extra times, and then beat AZ Alkmaar in a penalty shootout to crown themselves the Dutch Cup winners. And of course that means that Go Ahead Eagles are in a situation where their players are sort of heroes and very good and not wanting them to leave. So they have them valued at £5 million. Celtic should be closer to that region. It's not as if... The only excuse I can give Celtic here is, fair enough, it's not as if there's this transfer database like a video game where they have a price tag beside them. You've got to make a bid to find out what they're worth, and then you go from there. So fair enough if they went, we'll try that, see what they say back, and then we'll go from there. But to be that far short, No wonder clubs hate us. No wonder they don't want to do business with us, because we're nonsense. That's what we are. He looks a very good player, a talented player, can score goals, would obviously add quality to the right-hand side, quality that we're missing via the departure of Nicholas Kuhn. And only 21 years of age, it seems like there's a lot of potential there. This is somebody who I think is at a better point right now than what Nicholas Kuhn was when we signed him. I think that I'm more attracted to the proposition of Jakob Breum than I was Nicholas Kuhn only 18 months ago. So I think that that's the right market of player to be looking at, but you can't be taking the piss the way that we are. It's just, it's gone on too far this window. You know, it's the whole reason that we've been stalling on big moves. And I don't get why it's happening. Now, I've been one that's remained calm throughout the entirety of this transfer window, and I'm still trying to remain calm. But when you sit down and consider that the league season starts a week on Sunday, we really need to get a move on. You know, this has gone on too long. I thought by now that Balikwisha would be through the door. I thought we'd be closer to signing a Nicholas Kuhn replacement by now. I thought we'd maybe have a left centre half in by now as well. But those three positions, which have now become arguably the most important, are still not here. And I've been happy with what I've seen in pre-season. I know that we're fine for the St Mirren game. I know the squad is good enough for that. But, you know, very quickly after that, games will start flying. European qualifiers, the first derby. And quite frankly, squad depth-wise, we're not prepared for that right now. So I'm still calm, but they are taking the piss a bit here. There's no denying it. If you want Jakob Breum, go and offer £5 million. Do it. Simple as that. If that's the player you want, just pay it. Now, I'm all for business decisions that benefit Celtic. I'm all up for saving a few £100,000 or whatever, wherever you can. But they clearly want it. If you want him, go give them it. It's as simple as that. We'll see if anything else comes about this transfer in the next few days. Hopefully Celtic just get the finger out the backside. Now, we spoke about Yang a moment ago and what would happen if he potentially leaves the club. James Forrest would become the only right-wing option for the start of the season. But we need to talk about Yang for a moment, because last night he was subject of a AI scam. Now, that sounds bonkers, but he was part of a AI situation which sent the internet into frenzy as people thought he was about to sign for Norwich City any day now. This image went viral last night on Twitter, and it seemed to be a photo of Yang standing in a Norwich City kit, a photo taken from a distance, slightly blurred, but could suggest that Yang was down south doing his medical, getting his photo shoot done and over with, so that Norwich could announce him in the coming days as a new signing. But later on that night, it emerged that the photograph was AI and wasn't real at all. Now, I had my reservations when I first seen the image. I didn't know if it was actually him, and I didn't want to jump to that conclusion. Some did. There was many outlets, including The Sun and other tabloids, reporting that he was signing for Norwich, the deal was almost done, and that the image confirmed that. Their articles are now gone, they've deleted them through shame. But what I will say is, it's a very good AI image. Like, one of the best I've ever seen. I can't believe I'm saying that about a photo of Yang, but like, one of the best AI images I've seen in a long time, because usually like the fonts of football shirts are all over the place and spelling mistakes are rife, and I know this is like slightly blurred and stuff, but my god, I don't blame people for believing it, because I almost did at first as well. It has been confirmed as fake though, and Yang still remains a Celtic player. So if you've seen that blowing up over the past 24 hours, put it to the side for now. There's still a possibility he leaves this window, but he ain't anywhere yet. He's still training with Celtic. The page that initially reported the photograph then went on to post an apology last night about the situation. I think this was a page that is based in South Korea, of course, Yang's home country, saying that he had a sincere apology over the photo. He didn't take enough responsibility in research, and he took complete responsibility for sharing that photo. So yeah, it was completely fake. It was a hoax, you could say, one that just got a little bit out of hand. This is why I do what I do on here, because there is a lot of people who unfortunately will fall for, as some would call it, fake news. And in this day and age when AI is rife, subscribe to Ryan118. I'll keep you in the right, don't worry. Couple of quick-fire transfer stories to finish off for today. First of all, Jeffrey Schlupp will not be joining Celtic this summer, because talking about Norwich City, it looks as though he's heading there. Anthony Joseph reported this morning that Norwich City are close to agreeing a deal for Jeffrey Schlupp. The 32-year-old is a free agent after his contract expired with Crystal Palace this summer. Talks are said to be progressing well. So a lot of people who didn't want Jeffrey Schlupp back will be happy. He's heading down to Norwich in the Championship this season. And best of luck to him. What I will say is it just me or is Norwich signing everybody? What is happening in Norwich? Matthias Wiesgarden, potentially Yang, Jeffrey Schlupp. I feel like I've seen them sign another God knows how many players. It's all happening in Norwich. What have I missed? Did they get some takeover? I don't know. Anyway, Jeffrey Schlupp away. And Adam Montgomery is set to join Livingston on loan. Reports this morning suggest that he is set for a Livingston loan move after God knows how many loan moves. He will join Livingston this season. 2 years left on his Parkhead contract, and now he will go to Livingston for this campaign. You'd imagine Celtic are just trying their best to run that contract out at this point. Still 2 years left on it though, so it's getting good money, I'd imagine. Best of luck to him at Livingston. And finally, before I wrap things up today, I would like to pass my thoughts and prayers on to the family, friends and former teammates of Celtic legend John Fallon, who sadly passed away yesterday. Of course, John Fallon, a Lisbon Lion, the unused substitute of that famous day in Lisbon, forever will be iconic and immortal at this football club for everything he achieved. Nearly made 200 appearances for Celtic and will go down as a legend, quite frankly. Celtic confirmed yesterday that he sadly passed away at the age of 84. So my condolences to his family, and rest in peace to a Celtic great. Right, that does it for today. If you've enjoyed, make sure to hit like and subscribe. Let me know all your thoughts in the comments below. Until our next update, I'll see you whenever that is. Take care. Cheerio.